everyone, welcome to a special edition of Takoyaki Party. It's called the Bento Edition because we're on the road and it's going to be a smaller version than our normal Takoyaki Party podcast. I'm Matt. Joining me here is Andy.
Hey guys.
And this is special because we are in Guam. Hey. Was that a good day?
Yeah, it's good.
Aloha, whatever. Yeah. So, Andy, why are we in Guam?
We're on a special tour with the members
Of?
AKB48, of course.
All right, such as?
Yamamoto Sayaka featuring Ota Yuri.
And that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So this is like a 4-day. Well, for us, it's a 4-day event.
Yeah, 4 days, 3 nights to be exact.
And why did they put on this event, Andy?
So basically, I think every year Guam has a collaboration with InstaGuam, so they invite. But this year, so they did it with AKB, so they actually had a Guam InstaGuam Senbatsu, which is they chose 16 members, and I think they invited them over last year to Guam, and they shot like a little commercial.
Yeah.
And then they aired it this year.
Yeah.
I think. So having that, they announced that they were going to do a live in Guam. But I guess having just a live in Guam is, it's
not feasible.
Yeah, no, it's possible. I probably should think there are going to be fans in Guam that would like to go. But the thing is, they wanted to get people from places, from Japan, to come to Guam. Yeah. So, and obviously asking people to come to Guam for a live is, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Because Guam is not super far from Japan, but Guam is quite expensive, I think, flying out from Japan. So obviously, so basically JTB, a travel agency in Japan, decided that, hey, they want to jump in the collaboration. So they actually created these tour packages that we can buy and included the live within these tour packages. And obviously other events that we'll talk about later to get people to come.
All right, yeah. So then we'll start off with just day 0/day 1 for us, which was getting to Guam. So we left from Kansai International Airport in Osaka because that's where Andy lives. So I had to go all the way over there and take a bus. So it took like 10 hours, and then So
do you want to tell them why you have to come with me?
Andy's like, I'm really lonely and I need a buddy with me. And he's like, Matt, you're my best buddy ever in the world. Why don't you come to Guam with me? And I'm like, that's crazy. I would love to, but I don't have money. He's like, well, I got some money.
Okay. So let me jump to the point. The point here wasn't so much of, he's my best buddy. It was mostly because of, so basically, if you decided to come alone, obviously, you have two choices. Either you pay extra. I think you pay about 20K extra yen
for a
single room, which is kind of expensive for a 3-night to pay a 20K extra. And the other option is that if you don't pay for a single room, you get bunked with someone that JTB chooses. Randos, which isn't like, it could be cool, like you make a new friend, but it could also be really, really awkward if you don't like that person. So obviously, if I had to choose, I want to find someone who can come with me. But obviously, if Matt really couldn't come and like I couldn't persuade him to come, I would have came anyway. But yeah, it was cool that he ended up accepting the offer.
Yes, I did. But the only way I could come is because I had to. Let's talk about that.
Nah.
No, we're not. Okay. Basically, due to some miracle, I'm able to join him. So So we came from Osaka, and it was about 3.5 hour flight. We'll talk about that flight. Not that flight.
It was
actually, it's interesting because they booked this. They sat all of us in together. We're all in the back of the plane, like all the fans, part of the tour group. They were all Narita, and also I think like the Chubu.
I think Chubu. So there's actually, I think there was different location that was flying out. I think there was 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. So obviously the Narita and
Kansai.
And Kansai would be the two of the biggest. Then they also had, I think they had one in Kyushu, and then one in Chubu, which is the middle bit of Japan.
Nagoya.
But I don't think this one. Well, obviously we could have missed their flight, but from what we saw, we only bump into people coming from Narita.
Yeah.
I don't think at least not at the airport, we didn't see anyone coming from elsewhere.
Yeah. So yeah. So we were on that flight and we got to Guam and we took the bus to our hotel. It was also a shuttle bus provided by JTB. And they had multiple hotels part of this package. One of them went to one hotel and it was like 3 people from our bus group or plane group.
So basically that hotel you had to pay extra to stay. And I believe that hotel is the one where the members are staying.
Yeah.
So we didn't pay for that because it's ridiculously more expensive.
Yeah, it's way more money than we were already spending.
Yeah, so basically, okay, so the bus, so we were all on the same bus, and basically they stop at that first hotel called PIC.
Mm-hmm. Pacific Island Center.
No, it's not. Pacific Island something. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's not important.
Doesn't matter. We weren't at that hotel. Who cares?
So basically, we arrived there, and there was a few people that got off because they obviously paid for more.
Yeah.
So when we stopped, we saw someone.
Yeah. So I remember we didn't really tell because weren't really at Ocean, so we didn't care so much. But it was Ayakani from NGT.
So Ayakani from NGT. So like we weren't really like I knew who she was, but I'm not really a fan. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't. But in the back of our head, we were a little excited. We were like, oh yeah, there's a member who came to our bus and greeted people.
Yeah.
And then greeted people who were coming into that hotel. So, and me and Matt started talking about how like, oh man, that's what happens when you pay more money.
When you go to the baller hotel, you get hookups, you get to meet the members right away.
Yeah.
Right? And so we're like, well, it's not going to be at our hotel because we got the ghetto cheap one.
Yeah. So we got to our hotel. So someone did come to the bus, but it was some rando.
It was the staff or our tour guide, which we were expecting like, it's just going to be our tour guide. We're going to be so pissed. Like, this is like lame, blah, blah, blah. And, so then we got off the bus, met our tour guide, and we went inside the hotel. And inside the hotel lobby, there was a member, Mahon from NGT48.
Yeah, so basically we went in with our luggage one by one. So she greeted us one by one and gave us
this shell necklace, really cool shell necklace.
Yeah, so she gave us a shell necklace, and she kind of just gave us a few talks. So it was kind of like it wasn't, when I say handshake, I don't actually meant like holding her hands or anything, but like I meant like it was about like a
interaction.
Interaction about 2 ticket worth of handshake tickets.
Probably.
Yeah.
And it was really chill. Like she had like a manager or whoever was next to her, but there was no Hagashi, no one like to push you out. I guess.
Yeah. So basically, what I was telling Matt is that it was a really interesting experience because we're so used to going to an event or anything where even in Japan, like if you meet a member and if she's with a manager, like you always expect someone to be telling you like "Momonaku desu, it's almost time, jikan desu, it's time, please get out," type of thing.
Yeah.
Or someone starts touching you, patting you, telling you to leave. But this one, it was just super chill. It was literally like you just go up and you talk to her and you kind of just leave by yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone in our group actually like overstayed or anything.
Yeah.
But I think like everyone had a few sentences and we're like, okay, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And we moved on. So it was really chill.
Yeah. I think depending on the member, like if you were more interested in that member, maybe you might have been tempted to stick around. Like if it was Sayaka or Yuri or even Nachan, you'd probably been more tempted to shock them. But of course, I don't think it'd be like one of these top tier members. It would be one of these less.
Well, don't say that because we might have some people who really like Mahou.
Yeah. If you're really a Mahou fan, you might have been excited. You might have been there. They might have needed a Hagashi for that. But yeah, so we got that, and then checked to our hotel, got our key and stuff, and then. We went on a little adventure because we had some free time. Friday, like there's no events other than just getting to Guam. So we went on a little adventure and went to the world's biggest K-Mart. I believe it's the world's biggest K-Mart, or at least the biggest not grossest, but like they make the most money.
So what's a K-Mart? Not
K-Mart,
everyone American, so
yeah. K-Mart is like a kind of department store or miscellaneous goods store. You can get like food and like they have toys, they have electronics. Cooking supplies, basically general all-purpose store. In Japan, it's kind of like Don Quixote. And for American fans, Target, Walmart, Shopko, one of those kind of places. They're notorious for being like one of the cheaper end ones because they have like the blue light special where you can get stuff for sale. But when Walmart moved in and also Amazon, basically K-Mart just started closing down. Like they're now kind of a joke because they're so ghetto. But this one is like really big. It's the biggest one I've been to, and it had a lot of stuff on shelves. That's actually a comment I heard. So it's like this one's in business for a reason because it's just like it's a big supermarket. I was excited because I wanted to go buy some American crap, some snacks and stuff, bring it back home or bring it back to Japan. And we had a pleasant surprise while buying all of our crap. Andi, go.
So basically, so we actually went around the whole place and we already bought all our stuff. And then right about we were about to check out, like to pay for stuff, Matt was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go buy some
like macadamia nuts."
Like souvenirs and quick last souvenir for his coworkers. So he went, and I'm like, okay, I just kind of followed him. And then right as we were going there, I saw a person like walk by, like a girl, and I only saw the back of her head, and I was like, hey, this person, like from the back, this person looks really familiar. Like, I wonder who that is. And then I kind of just like hovered around. Like, I was like, the moment I thought it was familiar, I was like, I think this could be a member type of thing. So I kind of just hovered a little bit over. And then I noticed it was Okada Nana.
From AKB48, yeah. But you were pretty, like, you weren't like, oh my god, like fanboying and stuff about it. You were
no, of course not.
Yeah, you like actually mentioned me, because I was still looking through macadamia nuts. Like, hey Matt, I think I saw Nachan.
Yeah, so like I was really chill, and I think I just quickly hint over to Matt, like, hey Matt, I think that's Nachan over there. And then Matt didn't make a shit. He was just so buying for his fucking. He's still buying his shit, and I was like, okay, fuck it. So I just went over because when I told him, I was like expecting him to want to come with me, but then he was just doing his own shit. I was like, okay, fuck him. So I just went over, and then I didn't go really close to her because I could tell basically by that moment I think her manager kind of noticed that someone probably have noticed who she was. And so he was kind of like a full alert, but he wasn't like alert. He was just kind of getting ready to maybe walk.
Pull out his taser.
Walk in front of Okada Nana, just in case I try to do anything. So, like, obviously I'm not stupid, so when I see something like that, I just kind of kept my distance. But I want to talk to her, so I was just like, hey, Nachan. I kind of called her, not too loud, not too quiet, just enough to get and for her to hear, So she turned around and she wasn't super surprised or anything either. She was just waving to me like, oh, and like waving to me. And then I was like, oh, hey, and the first thing she said was, I think she was like, oh, natsukashi, and then like which means like, oh, like
long time no see kind of.
Well, not really, nostalgic, but which is kind of weird because saying natsukashi to someone is like. It's like saying like I died
from my childhood or
like something really really far back, and like it's kind of weird. When
was the last time you saw her?
It wasn't even that long ago. It was less than a year, but it was a weird thing that she said. And then obviously she wanted to let the manager know who I was as well. So she was like, oh, she looked at the manager and she was like, oh, that's Andi, by the way. And then so I think after the manager knowing that. She knows. I think it was also a sign for her to tell the manager that, like she doesn't have to worry that much. Yeah. So the manager kind of, you could see he was a little bit more chill. He just stood there,
arms crossed.
Yeah, well, kind of not even arms crossed. He was just standing there still, like just still, like he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't chatting or anything either. He was just watching us talk. And then I just did a really quick chill conversation. I was like, oh, did you just arrive today? And then she was like, yeah, I just arrived today. And then she's like, oh, like, I haven't seen you for a long time. And I told her, like, yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time. I'm surprised you still remember. She's like, yeah, of course I remember. And then at that point, I was like, I don't really know what to say. But then, like, so I was like, oh, yeah, by the way, I bought a bunch of snacks. Because Matt was nearby with our carts.
You guys. So I started, like, pushing the cart towards just to kind of show.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, yeah, I bought a bunch of snacks. I'm like, look, this is a bunch of snacks over here. And she's just kind of like, oh, yeah. She was like, oh, yeah. Like, just looking at the amount of snacks, it's like, yabai, ne? Like, it's like, oh my God.
You guys are monsters, garbage monsters.
Yeah. So that was about it. And then she kind of just, I think another manager of hers showed up.
Oh, really?
And then, it was a girl. And then they just left, and then
I kind of ghosted. Like I didn't assume Lee. Like you came back to me.
Yeah. So basically, the thing was I left first.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, this is getting a little bit weird now.
Yeah.
Like
kind of holding them on.
Yeah, I was holding them. So I was like, it's okay. So because I saw the person that they were waiting for came, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna hold them. I just kind of left. I just kind of left the area, and they just left as well. So like we didn't really say goodbye or anything either. It's just I felt like I didn't want to hold them anymore. Like it would be at that point it would be awkward. It's just like I'm forcing a conversation on her.
Yeah, it was a very sensitive basically how well you can balance between awkward and cool.
Yeah, basically it's always a little bit like some people ask me like, isn't it awkward to bump into members while they're doing something private? Yes and no, mostly because I think it has a lot to do with what they were doing and how you dealt with the situations.
It's only awkward if you make it awkward.
Yes, basically. Like I don't think it's not like I'm 100% sure that she knew that I wasn't like stalking her or anything either. It was just a coincidence. People coincidentally bump into each other, and it's okay to say hi, quick greet, and just say what's up. But I think it only becomes awkward when you make it too awkward. Like for example, if I continue the conversation.
Oh, so what are you doing tomorrow?
If I started asking too much shit, or just forcing her, or it makes it look like I'm trying to get all my worth of handshake.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'm being cheap and trying to just get all my handshake.
Milking it more.
Yeah. Then obviously that becomes awkward, and where at some point that she would have to actually stop you, or the manager would have to stop you. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to obviously get to that point, so I kind of left myself. Just like, okay, that was cool. I dealt with it. I said hi. She knew I came. That's it.
Yep.
It was a good encounter.
Yeah. And then you did run to like the Okadanana
So right after that, I bump into a bunch of. So me and Matt started to buy pizza to eat at K-Mart. Yes. So then I bump into 3 other wodas that I know. They're Okadanana fans. They're like hardcore Okadanana comedy fans. And then I talked to them. I was like, oh, so did you guys bump into Okadanana? Because they were at the same place. So I thought maybe they bump into her. They were like, oh no, I haven't seen her yet. I was like, oh, she was here just earlier. And they knew like, oh really? Oh man, no, we got really juked or something like that. Like they just missed it or something like that. I'm like, well, that's what it is.
Yeah. And pretty much that was K-Mart. Yeah. And basically day 0. So yeah, that'll do it for day 0 of our Guam trip.